Hi, I'm Mark Thurber at the Program on Energy and Sustainable Development at Stanford University. And I'm going to talk in this video about our new electricity market e-learning initiative, where we're putting together e-learning modules that people can independently use to learn about different aspects of electricity markets. For some years, we've taught energy market workshops using our energy market game. And so this is a great way for groups of regulators or market participants or other state energy offices, for example, various groups to get together and play games that simulate real energy markets where they might play the roles of generating companies or retailers. And by trying to operate in markets with different kinds of rules and scenarios, you really get to understand these markets better. But we've definitely come to feel that it would be really helpful if there were something we could do before the actual workshop to help level set everybody on some of the basic principles of electricity markets. And so that's how we came around to this idea of developing e-learning modules that people could go through on their own ahead of time. So that was one of our big motivations for doing this, was to help these workshops move faster. But as we've started to develop these modules and get feedback on them, we've realized that the other thing this can do is really make this kind of learning available to a much wider group of people, because we're limited in how many of these workshops we can actually do. So that's the genesis of this idea of e-learning modules. So far we have 5 e-learning modules. The first is on fixed and variable costs. So we go through what different characteristic fixed and variable costs are for different kinds of power plants. We look at marginal cost, so the cost of generating an incremental megawatt hour of electricity. And then we think about how do these characteristically vary for different technologies, and what kinds of mixes of fixed and variable costs do you like to have across your electricity generating supply system. The second module is on offer-based markets. So that talks first of all about why we have offer-based wholesale markets. It compares it with another approach, which would be a cost-based wholesale electricity market. And then thinking from the perspective of a generating company in this kind of market, we go through what the incentives are for how you would want to offer into an offer-based market in order to maximize your financial returns for one of these generators. The third e-learning module is on uniform price versus pay-as-bid auctions for electricity. The first of those, uniform price auctions, is what's practiced virtually everywhere. So the way that works is all the generators offer in for each of their units, and then all of the units that end up having offered in at or below the market clearing price are paid that market clearing price for the electricity that they generate. Pay-as-bid auction seems superficially like that might be a superior alternative, because a natural question that always comes up is, well, why are we paying generating units the market clearing price when we know that many of them have costs that are actually below that? So in this module, we compare and we look and see why a pay-as-bid auction might not work out as well in practice as people think it would in theory. Our fourth module is on unilateral market power, which is something that's electricity markets are particularly susceptible to for various reasons. So it's really important, especially as a regulator, to understand how unilateral market power comes about and what are your tools as a regulator to minimize the incentives of generators to exercise unilateral market power. But as with most of the modules, we'll look at this from the perspective of a generating company operating in this market to really understand the different incentives they face. And then our fifth and final module that is already developed and available for use is on the incentives faced by generators once they've sold fixed price forward contracts. This is one of our favorite topics because it's really, really important for the functioning of electricity markets to understand how purely financial contracts, forward contracts for energy, affect the incentives of the generating companies in the market. And this is also, these kinds of contracts are a very powerful tool for regulators. And so this is an important topic to cover. And then at the end, of course, we have to have a quiz so that everyone can demonstrate, your knowledge, and you can look back and say, okay, now I think about this a little differently than I did before. Our hope and our experience and what we've gotten from feedback from people is you really understand it in a different way if you're sort of forced to interactively kind of go through these things and think through the logics and try them out. So, that's what we like about the approach for these modules. And as of now, we have 5, but we're continuously trying to expand these. And our hope is that ultimately, this can be like almost like a textbook that you don't read in a book, but you can go through a succession of these modules. If you're interested in exploring this further, if you think your organization and people in it could benefit from going through some of these e-learning modules, please feel free to get in touch with me. Again, my name is Mark Thurber. And just send me a note. We can give you access to a trial version that has a smaller number of these modules and just talk further about whether this could be a useful thing for your organization. So thanks very much for watching this video, and again, let me know if you want to talk more.